Hello, what have we here?
Welcome to IDP Nation, the place for IDP and draft coverage. We are your hosts, Dan and Daryl. We have you covered for your LB1 Year Taxi Squad. We are IDP Nation.
Welcome to IDP Nation. I am your co-host, Hollywood Titan, and I am joined by Kyle Bellefue. What's up, Kyle?
What is going on, Daryl?
Oh, you know, just living the dream,
I know you are.
Oh, so we got a lot going on, a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss. I actually enjoy these nights we get to record. It's a good break away from everything else and puts my mind at ease, and I can just be me.
Yeah. You definitely let loose, buddy.
Well, you may regret those words tonight. I'm just saying. You know, usually this is where Dan reels me in, but I'm just saying. This is on you, Kyle. This is all your fault, buddy.
Oh, I know what that sound means.
You know what that sound means? Oh, hell yeah.
There ain't no reeling you in. So.
That's right. But we've got an action-packed show tonight. No guest. We usually have a guest on here the last few weeks, but me and Kyle are going to rock it tonight. I think we can hold down the fort. So,
oh yeah, for sure. We got lots of good stuff to cover.
Oh man. Yeah. All kinds of good stuff. Man, I don't even know where to start. My mind's racing here. Dan would tell me to turn my music down right now. I'm be like, I don't know what music you're talking about. But anyway, lots of stuff going on. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. We'll just jump into the news and notes, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds like a plan.
Sweet. Man, right off the bat, I didn't think it would come this early, but it did. J.J. Watt signed a 2-year, $31 million deal with the Arizona Cardinals. Did not see Arizona in the picture at all. I don't think many people did. I even wrote an article on some of the places he might land, and Arizona was nowhere in that mix. $31 million. That's $15.5 million a year. That's a pretty big deal.
I think it was 23 guaranteed too, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big.
And you know, he said quarterback was the main thing, then supporting cast, and then money. But $15.5 million. That's telling me money was pretty daggone important right there.
31 million reasons why he chose Arizona.
That's right. 31 million, and Arizona ain't one of those problems right now.
Yeah, for sure.
That's huge, right?
Right now it is, and I agree. I didn't see Arizona as one of the top teams at all. I think we talked about this few episodes back. Maybe we talked about some possible spots.
Yeah,
we might have. I was pretty shocked to see Arizona. That wasn't one I was thinking. I know we talked Buffalo, Tennessee, Cleveland, Green Bay. I mean, there was the obvious Green Bay connection. Pittsburgh was another one with the Watt brother connection. But ultimately, it's Arizona, and I mean they paid him for his services.
I mean, we'll get into something later, but while we're on J.J. Watt, we'll just go ahead and knock him out right here. Pittsburgh, I mean, I loved it because of the brother connection, but they're so far cap strapped. I just didn't think that was really an option unless they got super creative. I told you before we got on the show, I thought it was between Tennessee and Green Bay. I really did. I thought that was the two biggest guys outside of maybe Cleveland because they had so much money. But
And Green Bay had cleared a little cap there with a couple of cuts.
Yeah.
So you kind of thought maybe, but
I actually thought Green Bay might be the front runner because of Rodgers or whatever. But man, Arizona, I ain't gonna lie, that shocked me. I was just not ready to see him sign for Arizona or with Arizona.
I definitely don't think Green Bay was gonna come close to that number. Just knowing what they tend to do in free agency. Not that Watt's not worth it or whatever, but I mean, he did play 1,013 snaps last year and played all 16 games. So I mean,
yeah, he played all 16. One of the seasons, 2 seasons in the last 4 or 5 years that he's done that. So
yeah.
I mean, when he's healthy, he's a game changer. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Houston is just in shambles right now.
Oh, man.
I mean, they're going to lose Deshaun Watson too. That's going to be a shit show down there.
You're loving that too.
Oh, you know I am. You know, as bad as I hate Sucksonville, Houston is going to be maybe even worse. But Arizona, the impact. Kyler Murray, he's a pretty good quarterback. They got offensive weapons with Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald and Kenyon Drake and all those running backs, the tight ends or whatever. But looking at the IDP side, you're there with Chandler Jones, your bookend.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do with Hassan Reddick? Maybe he leaves now or whatever. Who knows? But they have pieces. Isaiah Simmons. They have, help me, the other linebacker.
Jordan
Hicks. Then you've got
Budda
Baker at safety. You've got not Marcus Murphy, Byron Murphy at corner. Now they may move on from Patrick Peterson.
Right.
But man, overall that defense is loaded.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to add a J.J. Watt to it.
Yeah.
Man, that's going to be rough to beat right there.
Yeah, it's a big ad for that defense and a tough division. So
quick question, I know we're in the news and notes, but I feel like J.J. Watt's a huge IDP topic right now. So are you moving J.J. Watt up in your rankings? If so, how far? Is he staying the same? How does it hurt Chandler Jones and some of those other guys? What is your initial thoughts?
I think I have Watt around the probably 13 or 14 range. Probably have to assess where some of these other guys go in free agency and whatnot. But I mean, probably going to keep him around that area. On first thought, I still like JJ Watt. He's obviously they paid him well. They're going to use him. He's in a good spot with some other good players on that defense. I mean, he might go up a spot or two maybe, but I don't remember exactly where I have him. But it'd probably be around the same range as me. I know his value fluctuates from different, person to person, depending on how you feel about him. But he's probably going to be pretty close to where I have him, maybe a tick up, maybe. But how about you?
Yeah, kind of. Are you buying him right now? Are you selling him right now? Because a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, he's with Chandler Jones, Budda Baker, Jordan Hicks."
Right.
So are you buying or selling his shares? I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat with you on that, but
yeah, I mean, if I have a contending team and I need another piece of my defensive line unit to really shore it up and maybe give you a little edge, I would definitely buy JJ Watt, especially if you can get him at a cheaper price because he's 31.
He's a 1 year rental championship piece, right?
Yeah, I'll definitely be happy to get 2 years. Really looking for him to help your team this year if you're a contender. If you're not a contender or you're a middling team or definitely a rebuild, obviously you want to sell your older assets anyway. But if I'm a contender and he's on he's on another team that doesn't look like they're going to be a big contender, definitely check it in. He's going to make an impact.
Yep, absolutely. Especially if he can stay healthy. That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where everybody, NFL, fantasy managers, everybody, I think that was the hang up. it's not a question of how talented he is or how good he is, but how long do you sign him for? And is he going to be available on the field? We say it every week. Your best ability is your availability.
Yep.
No question that he's talented. Like I said, I did not see Arizona being a player in this.
No. Neither.
So to get him with Chandler Jones, Buda Baker, Jordan Hicks, Isaiah Simmons, I kind of really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the value is so low on him right now. With that said, with him signing with Arizona, it's shooting back up real quick. So I think in the past, you've probably got another couple of days before his value really just shoots back out of stratosphere. But in the past year or 6 months, a year or longer, if you've traded for him, I think you've come out golden right now. You probably bought him extremely low at a good value, and now it's bottom of the ninth, and you're fixing to hit a grand slam right here. So I'm kind of liking that. Yeah.
And I mean, obviously he's going to have a little more talent around him in Arizona than he did in Houston. So should cut back on the double teams, you would think.
You would think. I mean, offensive.
Anyway.
I think overall team-wise, he has more talent around him, offense and defense. Deshaun's probably better than Kyler. You still got DeAndre Hopkins. You did without him for a year, so you still got him. But with the running back situation, offensive line, I think you're better overall. I think the supporting cast on defense is better overall.
Yeah.
So I think
help him out.
Yeah, I think this is a real good move for him. I just did not see it coming, but
no.
That's what makes free agency go so good, because you just do not know.
Absolutely.
So we'll get to moving along here. The Patriots linebacker Dante Hightower and safety Patrick Chung, they've all decided that they're going to come back for 2021. Last year they opted out because of the COVID, set out the whole year. Chung, for me, is not really a big piece, but Hightower is a pretty good piece. I mean, he was playing really well. I mean, he's not a huge fantasy Blake Martinez, that type of guy. But if you can get him as your LB, a low-end LB2, LB3, I think he's a steal.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's one of those players that's a, better NFL player than he is IDP fantasy player. He's a big part of that Patriots defense. They'll be happy to have him back. IDP wise, I mean, not expecting a ton, but worth the spot if you have room.
Right.
But yeah, that defense definitely will be welcoming him back if he wants to give her a run.
Yep. Absolutely. The Steelers linebacker Devin Bush is on schedule in his ACL rehab. He expects to be ready for training camp, which is huge. If you was able to pounce on him last year and get him kind of, I want to say, on the cheap, I think the best is yet to come from him. I mean, we've all seen Devin White take off. We've talked about him at length, but Devin Bush, for his testing, was right there with White and put up some good numbers as a rookie, and unfortunately he got hurt last year, had to miss out. But, man, I'm living some Devin Bush right now, and I have him in a ton of leagues. I can't wait to see him back on the field.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I definitely a big Devin Bush fan. I was bummed to see him get hurt. I thought he was going to get unleashed this year, and they kind of scaled him back a little bit towards the end of his rookie year with the team being out of contention. So, but yeah, unfortunately got hurt, and I'm happy to hear that he's back on track.
I think he was they missed him quite a bit. I mean, I know he was young, and I know they brought in Robert Spillane, who did well. They brought in Avery Williamson, who did really well. Yep. And they had Vince Williams. But I think you have a Devin Bush with an Avery Williamson. or whoever you want to put there. I just think they really missed Devin Bush this year.
Yep. No, I agree. He brings a different element to that linebacker unit.
Right.
You know, but yeah, I'm ready to see a healthy Devin Bush ready to roll and run around making plays.
Oh yeah, me too, man. I have him in a ton of leagues. I can't wait.
Yep, I'm with you, man.
Fear the Bush. That's right.
Bring the Bush.
That's right. So it's free agency season, or it's about to be. So teams are, they're making moves, clearing up some cap space. The Jets released defensive lineman Henry Anderson, who freed up $8.2 million in cap space. I mean, Anderson was a decent player for them, but that $8.2 million in cap space, that's a huge number. I mean, especially with this year being a lesser cap number. Anything that you can free up $8+ million, that's big.
Yeah, no, it's definitely makes sense. Like you said, it's a big cap number. Robert Saleh's coming in. They're gonna revamp that Jets deal. And Henry Anderson, he had 7 sacks in 2018, but he's only had 1.5 sacks over the last 2 years. So he hasn't quite, he hasn't been ultra productive for him.
Yeah, I mean,
a little bit. So
he's been a decent player, like you said.
Yeah. No,
I think somebody will sign him somewhere. He'll be a good. I could see him going to New England and being a star. But
the stack numbers haven't been great the last couple of years, but he's put up some tackles and stuff. I mean, for them, they're rebuilding there. Like I said, Robert Saleh is going to start getting the pieces he wants, and like you said, freeing up that $8.2 million is huge, especially with the way things are. And we're going to start seeing a lot of this.
Yep. Yeah, you're going to see a ton of it in the next week or so.
Yep.
Continuing on, this is one that happened just today. The Dolphins released linebacker Kyle Van Noy, which freed up $9.3 million in cap space. I mean, when you can free up $10 million basically in cap space, that's kind of a no-brainer. I know he was hurt last year. He did well in spurts, but just not being healthy, I think that kind of hurt him. So he'll move on. Who knows where he lands?
Yeah.
But I think that was the right move for Miami.
Yeah, it's a big number to clear. He had a pretty solid year. I mean, he had 69 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, and 6 passes defended. So, I mean, played 811 snaps. So, I mean, he was a big part of that linebacker unit, but freeing up that number, like you said, that's a big number. So he'll find work somewhere. We'll be waiting to see where he ends up.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Continuing on, the Broncos released defensive tackle Jarrell Casey after one season. It's a cap space move, frees up some cap space for them. I'm sure he's another player like Vanoy. He'll get some interest on the market. Probably won't get the big payday like he's had in the past, but only 1 year in Denver. I was kind of surprised at that. I figured he would at least stay 2 years, but
had that injury is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Casey's a good player. I mean, you got to see him plenty in Tennessee. So
yeah, we were mad that we traded him away for, I think it was a 6th or 7th round pick.
Yeah, it was a late pick. Yeah,
it was a late pick. I mean, we were upset over that, but a year later, and he's getting cut. So
yeah,
I mean, like I said, somebody will have some interest or a need in him. I'm sure he'll land somewhere. But I think they're making a play for a quarterback, maybe. So they're trying to free up some room here.
They got some needs.
Yeah,
in Denver, all over.
Yeah.
So, so I get it. It's he'll land somewhere. He's still got some juice left in his game. I think Casey's a good player.
Yep, almost got carried away there with a little Pantera walk in my ear. Almost forgot what was going on here for a minute.
I seen you grooving over there.
I was. That come on, I was like, oh, help me.
Far be it for me to tell anybody to turn Pantera down. So
That's right. Well, Dan would. Dan be like, damn it, man, turn that shit off. And I'm like, how dare you? No, I miss Dan.
Me too.
I ain't telling him that, but you know, for any of y'all that talk to him, I hate Dan. So
you do not.
I do. I hate him.
You do not. Dan's a man.
He's dead to me. Dan's out. You're in, Kyle. Jeez. So moving along here, these are interesting. And I saw these today when I was making the show sheet. The NFL is possibly expanding, and this looks like it's likely going to happen. They're going to expand to a 17-game season starting this year.
Okay. Wow.
That's one extra game. I would imagine if they're expanding to 17 games, they're going to cut out a preseason game.
Yeah. Is that what they said? I didn't get to see anything on it.
They haven't really said. I just saw the note that they were possibly going to expand to 17 games.
Yeah.
With what they've talked about the last few years, that probably means they're going to lose a preseason game.
Yeah, it makes sense.
My question is, are they going to expand rosters? Because those preseason games are really valuable to rookies and free agents and stuff like that. But for us fantasy managers, man, we're chomping at the bit. 17 games, that's just one more game we can play.
More football, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's what we all crave, more football.
Yeah, more football. And speaking of more football, kind of to piggyback right off of that, the NFL is also looking at adding a second Christmas Day game and possibly a Monday night wildcard game. So everyone knows on Thanksgiving there's 3 games. So now Christmas is going to have a second game. Will possibly have a second game. And then with the expanded playoff system that they have, they're looking to add now maybe a Monday night wildcard game, which would be intriguing to me.
Yeah, that's really interesting, man. That second Christmas Day game and an extra Monday night wildcard game, definitely interesting. Bring it on, man.
Yeah, sign me up for a second Christmas Day game, man. Yeah, shoot, yeah. So I'm guessing they would probably have, if I'm not mistaken, Christmas Day game is early.
Okay, yeah.
So the second one would probably be a late night game, like an 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock game, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which I'm down for. I mean, they could add 3 Christmas Day games if they wanted to. I'll watch them. So.
Yep, I'm in. Just let me know when they start. That's all.
That's right. Just tell me the date and the time, and I'm tuned in. So
no, definitely really interesting. Extra game, the 17-game season, and then the extra Christmas on another day on Christmas, or another game on Christmas Day, and then Monday night wild card. It's all interesting stuff.
What do I always say, Kyle? Give the people what they want. That's right.
That is your famous line.
It is. And I have to take that. I'll have to give some credit to Luke Combs. He says that in one of his songs, or one of his videos. So kind of stole that from him. So got to give the people what they want. That's right. Unless you have anything else on the news and notes.
No, that's all I got.
Sweet. As we do every week, I know we bore you to death with this stuff. We got to get our sponsors in. We got to do a little help us out kind of sponsor or help us out episode here. We've mentioned My Fantasy League. Me, Dan, Kyle, everybody I know, we play most of our leagues on My Fantasy League. They do so much in charity. They helped us out with the IDP Invitational, sponsoring that. So, go check them out. Very customizable. They got a lot of stuff going on. Just a great site. And then to piggyback off of that, at Trophy Smack. You know, I saw a tweet this week or the last day or so. I know they did rings, but I did not know that they were customizable. Yes, they can do anything you want. And they actually even took it a step further. If you look at one of my tweets, someone won it was an actual team that won their league, and they give them a championship belt. Instead of a trophy for their championship, they give them a belt, which was really good on their part. It's pinned to my Twitter page. Click the link, get your special rate, help us out, help yourself out. Trophies, plaques, rings, championship belts. Those championship belts. Me and Dan has talked ad nauseum over those things. They are awesome. They are awesome. Yep. In case you can't see, right here's a ring that they sent us just to show off. This thing is heavy. I mean, it's really heavy. It's good quality stuff. Comes in a nice package, you know. A great box at trophysmack.com. Go to my Twitter page, follow the link, help your league out, get some quality stuff, and help us out here too. Whew, man, I'm tired already, Kyle.
You're doing good, buddy.
Yeah. You say that now. Let's see where we're at in about 30 minutes here. So now we're on to our main event. I kind of feel bad because I mentioned this earlier, and Kyle, I give Kyle a lot of shit, and he actually went and wrote out a whole. We're talking free agents here, and he went and wrote out a whole top 100 free agent IDP list here. I was like, man, I'm kind of proud of Kyle.
That was only 50 some. It was out of the
50. Yeah, I mean it's a mix list, top 100 mix, but yeah, I mean that's I didn't know you didn't see my link that I posted on the show sheet, but I'm sure they're all pretty the same. So
yeah,
but no, it's good to see you putting the effort in, Kyle.
Trying to make you proud, buddy.
Well, you know, we're running. You know, Z-Mags knows. Everybody knows. I'm like every week. I'm like Kyle, just add to the sheet, and he has nothing. The 1 week he had something, we don't use it. So, oh shoot!
I tried.
You do. I was proud of you this week.
Hey, buddy, I'm trying.
So that's right. For the main event, we are going to talk the top. Well, the topic is the top 100 free agents, but it's a mixed bag. So we're only going to look, since we're IDP, we're only going to look at the IDP. I pulled this up from Pro Football Talk. At number 3, they have Giants defensive end Leonard Williams, who had a really, really good year for them. Interested to see where he lands. Do you think he goes back to New York? If not, where do you see him going? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have much other of a pass rush besides Leonard Williams, so I would think they would try to bring him back. You know, he should have plenty of people interested in him. He had a huge year. I think the Giants, they should make him a priority. I would think after the year he put up. Another spot, I think. A team that could look at him, I mean, why not Cleveland? You know,
right?
They're a contender. They could use a pass rusher. I don't know what their cap situation's like. That's a team I thought of. If they wanted to make a big splash for one to pair with Myles Garrett, that'd be a pretty cool duo.
Especially with them missing out on J.J. Watt.
Right. That's kind of what I thought.
Yep.
You know, since they were in the mix with Cleveland was in the talks of getting J.J. Watt. You know, we were like, man, that would be such a badass duo, him and Myles Garrett. So right. I mean, if they want to they want a playoff game. Things are looking up. They're a good team. That'd be an interesting spot, I thought, for Williams. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think Cleveland, because they have so much money and they have a need, and they want to get somebody. I mean, Olivier Vernon did pretty well playing opposite of Myles Garrett, but I think they want to get younger while they're in this. I want to say,
agent.
yeah, I want to say window. So of course they want to get somebody kind of young there. Williams, you know, he had that one good year with the Jets. Then he just kind of disappeared. Went to a new team with the Giants and he rebounded. So, you know, we all know how toxic the Jets are. So, I'm with you. I think the Giants will make a play for him.
Right.
But does he chase the money and go somewhere like a Cleveland or something like that? I'm just not sure. I think Cleveland's has a better chance to win right now, a championship. So, you know, if that's something he's looking for, and I'm sure it is, with the money they can have, I think he would be a good fit actually in Cleveland. Remains to be seen. I mean, the Giants may pony up and tag him or something like that, so we'll see.
Yeah, I agree.
At number 4 on this list, Bronco safety Justin Simmons. Kind of intriguing. I mean, he spent his whole career with him. I've heard some reports that they would let him test free agency. I've seen some reports that they would probably tag him or whatever. I don't know that they're going to tag him. I think they'll make him a pretty good offer, but will it be enough to keep him as a Bronco? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a really good player. I'm a huge Justin Simmons fan. He's been a big part of that secondary. He's had a couple of really good seasons here back to back. I think they should definitely try to bring him back. Will it be enough? I don't know. Will they tag him? Maybe. I don't know. You know, I don't know what else they have there at safety. So I think they should definitely make a run at him. But if he hits the market, you have any spots?
You know, I'm not exactly sure. I just kind of think, for some reason, I kind of think they keep him there in Denver.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so tough. Right now is just a tough time to kind of look what we did with what everybody was on what going here, going there. Yeah. Even myself, you know, I printed out 8-10 teams that he could go to, and Arizona was not even in that mix. So it's just so hard to predict.
Simmons is a tough one.
I get the feeling he stays in Denver. I really do.
I'm with you. I get that feeling too.
I'm sure some teams will make offers, but I just think at the end of the day, Denver gets it done because he's been so valuable to them. Here's one I really want to hear. Buccaneers edge Shaq Barrett coming off of the Super Bowl. They have so many free agents they have to sign. Barrett, Levante David.
Isn't JPP a free agent too?
I think JPP, you've got Chris Godwin, you've got Antonio Brown and Ndamukong Suh. They have a slew of players they have to sign. So a couple years ago, Shaq Barrett had that set the team record with sacks. And then he kind of fell off last year. And that's been a trend, you know, when you hit that 20 sack mark. Aaron Donald done it. You know, a bunch of players have hit 20 sacks and then they just fell off. So I kind of felt like he regressed. But in the playoffs, he really stepped up and showed he was still the same guy. I don't know who's the odd man or odd men out in Tampa Bay. All those names that we mentioned, teams are going to throw a lot of money at, especially Barrett, Godwin, and JPP, Levante David. Those four, I think, are the priority, and teams are going to come at them with big paychecks.
Right.
kind of the bullet they have in their back pocket is that, you know what? We signed Tom Brady, and we just won a Super Bowl here. So there's a lot to be said for keeping the team intact. I just don't know that they can keep everybody. I almost feel like Barrett or JPP, one of the two will stay and the other one will be gone. I just don't know which. I almost feel like it's going to be Barrett that leaves. I don't know why, but I just kind of think he's going to kind of chase that money a little bit.
Yeah, they got a lot of big decisions to make. Shaq Barrett had 8 sacks this year, and obviously coming down from 19 and a half the year before, but he still was a big part of their defense, made a big impact in the playoffs. They definitely have some big decisions to make. I think they're going to take a long, hard look at resigning Barrett, but I don't know if they can or if they will. I guess a lot of that depends what they decide to do with Godwin, because he's going to command a lot of money. I think there's going to be a lot of teams interested in Barrett if he does hit the market. He's still only 28, I believe. Let me look here. Yep, he's still 28 years old, so he's young. He's had some success here these last 2 years, and he's an impact player. So, I mean, you could see maybe like a team like, I don't know, maybe your Tennessee Titans in the mix. Who knows? They would be an interesting spot. I think they could use some help, obviously, at pass rusher. They need to pair somebody with Harold Landry. That was a team that came to mind, I guess. But I do think Tampa Bay will try to make a push to keep him, but I don't know if they will. Like you, I do think I feel like he would be the one to leave, and I don't really have a specific reason why, but I feel like he might be the one that hits the market and chases the money a little bit. But yeah, that's obviously the allure of coming back to the Bucs is big because they just won it, and the GOAT's coming back to win another one. So, yeah, it's an interesting. Shaq Barrett's definitely an interesting one. I don't know. What do you think about the Shaq Barrett to Tennessee talk I just laid out?
I mean, I like it as a fit, but I just don't know that they have the money.
Yeah, I don't know the cap situation.
Tennessee's kind of tied against the cap. I mean, I know they're should move on from Clowney, Beasley.
Right.
They got to decide what they want to do with Jayon Brown, John O. Smith, Corey Davis. Tennessee's kind of in a tight situation right now. Would love to have him there. Think he'd be a great fit, but
yeah,
I just don't know money-wise what he's going to command is going to be.
That's why I threw it out there, because I knew you'd know the ins and outs of what you guys got. I just thought that was an interesting spot if he did hit the market. A team that could use a pass rusher, he'd be a good fit. You guys obviously have a good team there. So
yeah, I mean, if we can swing it, it would be great. But I just think with our cap situation and some of the players some of the positions of players we gotta fill, I just don't know that that's quite in our wheelhouse.
And you guys are kind of in the range in the draft for edge rusher wheelhouse in the wheelhouse there.
Right. Right.
From what I'm gathering. So yeah. No, I thought I'd throw it out there to see your thoughts.
I mean, I really like that. I really do, but
yeah.
I think we're more in a range of a Bud Dupree guy.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that with our cap space, that's kind of more likely our range, more likely our help me, Kyle. Where we're focusing at, because we threw away money last year on Clowney. We threw money last year away on Beasley.
Yeah,
whether you like it or not, there's some heat in Tennessee on Robinson and Vrabel right now because of this stuff. So,
yeah.
I like Barrett there, but I think he's too far out of our price range.
Okay. That's why I threw it out there.
Do you think he would be an option in Green Bay? I mean, we talked about Watt. Do you think he would be an option there?
I don't. Given we'll see what happens with Preston Smith, but given Rashawn Gary, made a nice jump in year 2, and we have some other needs, and the fact that today it's kind of come out that they might take Aaron Jones. That's obviously.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
I would love it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think we're in the mix. Would love it, but yeah, I don't think we're in that mix.
I'm just not sure where he goes. Somebody's going to throw money at him.
Yes.
I almost think Tampa Bay's the front runner, but we've seen it I don't know how many times year after year. Yeah. Money talks and bullshit walks. So
right. And he's 28, so he's looking for that nice big contract right here, in his kind of his prime years to hit it. So yeah, interesting.
All right, moving on. And my list probably differentiates from yours, if I could speak. We'll stay in Tampa Bay. Number 10 on this list. Linebacker Levante David. Man, this is a huge prize in free agency. And I saw this today that possibly the Browns have him on their shopping list.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mac Wilson got hurt last year, never returned to the promise that most people thought. What's the other guy, the young guy? Taki, sure.
Yeah.
Jacob Phillips. Now, there is some high praise with Jacob Phillips.
I like Jacob Phillips.
I don't know that he's quite there yet.
Well, if you paired him with a good old veteran like Levante David, you'd have something.
Right. So with a Myles Garrett, with some of the young guys they got in the secondary, I kind of like this. Plus, they have the money. Mm-hmm. I hadn't really thought about it, and I was like, you know what, that kind of makes sense, Mm-hmm. But I think the wild card factor is Tom Brady and winning a Super Bowl. He was there in year 1 and won you a ring. And if you're playing for rings, it's hard to walk away from that. Now, is he going to do that next year? We don't know. Right. But just the fact that he came down there in year 1 and got you a ring, I think all these Tampa Bay players are like, why would I leave this? You know?
Got a good thing going.
We got a good thing going. This guy wins more Super Bowls than most teams even appear in. And I'm going to stay right here. I don't know what to think about Levante David as far as where he goes.
Well, if obviously he's a little older at 31, but he's still playing at such a high level, I
think Devin White kind of makes him expendable, if that makes sense.
Right. They just don't have a lot behind, Kevin Minter is the other one, but he's a free agent, so they could bring him back on a real cheap deal. That I get. If they let David go, I don't know. Devin White's awesome, but that's just a fantastic duo there.
Right. But this is what the NFL and these teams are.
Yep.
Right now, this is what you're faced with.
Yep.
You've got so much room to sign players, but like Tampa Bay, Shaq Barrett, JPP, Levante David, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, you've got all these players to bring back, and Ndamukong Suh, and you don't quite have the cap space.
Yep.
Now I know you can get creative with guaranteed up front and all that stuff, but sometimes when you throw these teams from the outside throw this, hey man, we loved what you did in that playoff run or that Super Bowl. We think we have that team just as good.
Yeah.
We're going to give you this amount of money.
Right.
Sometimes that money talks, man. And
that Cleveland spot that's pretty interesting. I
kind of like him in Cleveland. I really do.
Him and Jacob Phillips would be a the good veteran, solid player like Avante David, show him the ropes. Phillips showed some promise. I think he's going to be a good player. Levante David is just so underrated for so long. Like, he's just so good.
Yep, and you got Myles Garrett in front of him.
Yeah,
Sheldon Richardson, if they bring him back on the back end, you've got help me.
Safeties talking here.
Safeties.
Delpit will be back.
Delpit will be back. Who's the other guy?
Ronnie Harrison. Is he still under contract?
Ronnie Harrison. They got one more, but I can't think of his name. And then you got
Carl Joseph was on a 1-year deal. So
Carl Joseph. But then that corner, you've got Denzel Ward. You've got Shoestrings, I call him.
Yeah.
My brain just went blank.
It's a
Greedy Williams.
Greedy Williams, yeah, it's a solid unit. It's an interesting spot. I like it. I think you're onto something there. I
really like him in Cleveland because I think the opportunities for him to continue to be a fantasy top option is there.
Yeah.
Whether he stays in Tampa, he's going to be good. But if he moves on, a team like Cleveland, I really like that. I think he keeps up his fantasy value there.
Yep. No, I dig it.
So we'll keep moving along here. Next one is J.J. Watt. We talked about this.
Yep.
Huge move for Arizona. There's been some discussion. I kind of want to hear your thoughts on this in a chat or something I've seen. If you go to a team that has a la Chandler Jones, does that make J.J. Watt better because they have a greater bookend? There's some doubt about that. For me, I think so. With getting into the analytics of it, I just think when you look at a team like Washington, we'll use them for an example. Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, when you can build up front like that, it makes everything better. Everything. Front to back. Does Arizona quite have that? No, but you have Chandler Jones. You have J.J. Watt now. Now at linebacker, you're going to have Jordan Hicks. You're going to have Isaiah Simmons. You got Buda Baker back there. You got Byron Murphy. I really like what they're putting together. There's something to be said for a complete all-around defensive unit. Yeah. And I like that. I think it helps. Does it help J.J. Watt? Yes, but I think it helps Chandler Jones and Buda Baker more than anything.
Yeah, I don't know, like you said, what the data says, but you would think him going there is better for his value, being that they have a better defense than, they have more pieces that other offensive teams have to concentrate on besides him. Houston this year, there was nothing really other than him as a pass rush. Wasn't much anyway. So you'd think it's better for him. Definitely a better defense by far. So I think it's good for him. I don't know what the data says, but on paper it looks like it.
Yeah, it was just a question. I forget where I saw that. It may be in one of our chats, but
could be.
Very well could be. But I just saw that. Is there a correlation to, you're sitting there with Chandler Jones and you get a J.J. Watt. Does that make Jones better? Does that make Watt better? Does that make them both better?
Right.
There was a discussion that it kind of didn't. That's just, for me, that's just kind of hard to believe.
Yeah.
I would like to dig into that and see some of the numbers, some of the breakdowns, the analytics of that. But, Cleveland was not far away from going to the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
You add a player like a Levante David, he probably gets them over the hump, probably.
Oh, he'd definitely be a big addition. Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Yeah. This is kind of a oddball here. Viking safety Anthony Harris.
I mean, Harris is he's a one of them guys, a better NFL player than IDP option, probably. I mean, he's not a horrible IDP option or anything, but he's a good free safety. I'm sure Minnesota's. I can't remember if they brought him back on a 1-year deal or if this is the first year he's hitting free agency. It seems like he might have one time already, but maybe I'm getting him mixed up with somebody else. Just trying to look here, but yeah, I mean, him and Harrison Smith are a pretty good duo back there. That they should probably try to bring him back. I don't know that he's real IDP relevant. More of a free safety guy, but he makes some plays. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I don't think he's a star, but I don't think he's bottom level either. I think he's just above average player. You can probably plug him in anywhere, and he's going to give you the same thing that he's been giving you with Minnesota.
Yeah, he's solid.
Yeah, I don't see him changing much more from that.
Yeah, I think he's, like I said, one of those better. He's a good, really good NFL player, good free safety type.
Yeah, he's an interchangeable player. So those type players for me are, I don't want to say a dime a dozen, but you can find them, you can acquire them, trades, free agency, whatever.
Right.
He's not a superstar, so, and he's not a bottom feeder. So, like I said, those kind of players don't move the needle for me a whole lot. I think he fits well in Minnesota and pairs well with Harrison Smith. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him.
Yep.
I think they'll make him an offer, but I don't think it'll be a super high offer. And it's kind of like Tennessee's going to do with Jayon Brown, with Corey Davis. They're going to make them a fair offer.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, do they want to come back for that fair offer with that team, or do they want to chase the money? And I think Anthony Harris kind of fits in that. Does he want to come back to Minnesota for a fair offer?
Yep.
Or will he chase the money? And I think we see a ton of players like that. And I think that's the intrigue, oh man, my brain's racing. That's what makes this so volatile, because you don't know what players think, Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same list and you are, and the guys coming up are a lot more exciting than Anthony Harris.
See, that's kind of what I'm thinking. See, if I'm an NFL manager, GM, player of personnel or whatever, that's kind of what I'm looking at, because let's face it, if you can get a player just as good as quality or better for a less price, you're going to move on from your guy.
Yeah. I'm talking this free agent list with some of the names you got coming up, some of these pass rushers coming up. We got some. Yeah.
I mean, for IDP, that's the same thing with us fantasy managers. You're looking at where these players land.
Mm-hmm.
What's it going to cost you to acquire them? What do you have, if you have them? What do you have invested in them?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost, this cat and mouse game is just back and forth every day. So
let's hit a couple of these edge rushers coming up.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm looking down here.
Matt Judon,
15 for the Ravens. He's been one of their better pass rushers for the last couple of years.
Yep.
I almost think they re-sign him, though.
I could see that.
I mean, I kind of think Baltimore knows they have to re-sign him. I mean, they don't have a whole lot behind him, so they got to, right?
Yeah. No, I could see that. That's kind of my take too. He's been pretty solid for them. He's been a big part of their pass rush. I think there's a good chance they look at bringing him back. Do you have any spots for him that you liked, or think he's more or less coming back?
I really think he's coming back to Baltimore. I've not heard anything or seen anything that suggests that he may be moving on, which, like I said, we didn't know what Walt was going to do. We were all completely wrong on that. So I just think Baltimore brings him back because they have such a huge need there.
Yeah, I can see that.
This
next guy on the list, I'm really interested in. See where he goes.
Carl Lawson, Bengals. Man, they need so much help up front. They still have Geno Atkins. The one that went to Seattle, help me.
Carlos Dunlap.
They let him move on.
Yep.
I almost think they have to keep Carl Lawson, but I think it's going to be, with any free agent, it's going to depend on price.
Yeah.
I don't know that they're going to get anybody in the draft that's going to make an impact that early or that quickly. I'm sure they're going to draft somebody at some point. I almost think like the Bengals bring Carl Lawson back because he's probably their best pass rusher right now.
Yeah, well, Sam Hubbard's there. He's a pretty solid defensive end for them, and he's the best they got, and he's good for IDP as well. Lawson's gonna be interesting. He's flashed there in Cincy, and then he was stuck behind guys. I mean, does he want to hit the market? He's gonna have some suitors, you would think, and does he want a fresh start? To go somewhere else and make an impact. He's an interesting guy. I think there's going to be some teams interested. I don't know what his market value is going to be. I'm curious compared to some of the other guys, right? Like you said, Shaq Barrett might be out of your range in Tennessee. Is Lawson in your guys' range?
Yeah, I mean, he could be, but I think we're kind of looking just a little bit lower because we're so strapped against the cap right now. I mean, I like Lawson, but I think he re-signs with the Bengals. I really do.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm curious if one of these other teams, like Indianapolis or something, takes a shot on him.
Whew, man, that'd be. Don't speak that. No.
Well, I mean, I was a big Kamoko Toure fan, but he just kind of couldn't get healthy, so it's kind of a bummer. But
I mean, that would be a great signing for them with what they have with DeForest Buckner and Darius Leonard, Anthony Walker. Man, a piece like Carl Lawson would almost put them over the top.
Especially with them, they're already a good team. They got Carson Wentz. They could use a little help on the pass rush.
Right.
I'd love to see Lawson go to a place like that where he could kind of shine a little bit and get a new start maybe. I could see him going, if I don't know what their cap number is, but a place like the Chargers, because Melvin Ingram is a free agent, so they have a need there next to Joey Bosa. Yeah.
For the right price, I mean, he could be a steal there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. What do you think? Should we hit a couple more of these pass rushers coming up?
Sure. I want to get down here to about 25 or so.
Okay. Yep.
Marcus Williams, safety for the Saints. He's not too high on my list.
Yeah.
I think the Saints will kind of make him a good offer. Not sure that any other team will make him a better offer.
Right.
So I kind of think he stays in New Orleans.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to – they'll definitely you would think they'd make him an offer, but how much? And we'll see. We'll see. Not sure he's a big IDP contributor. But I'm excited about the next guy on the list.
Yeah, these next two or three I really want to hear.
Yeah, these are
up next is at 19 on this list is Cardinals edge Hassan Reddick.
Yep.
Man, he busted out last year. I think last year he had the 5-sack game.
Yeah. Huge game.
you can say you take out the top and you take out the bottom and you kind of average it. Man, he showed that 5-sack game. He was on fire. Is he going to do that every week? No, of course not.
No.
But I've almost got to think with J.J. Watt being in town, Reddick's probably out the door.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not moving on from Chandler Jones. You just signed J.J. Watt. You've got Jordan Hicks. You've got Isaiah Simmons, who is the next guy up, safety linebacker type. It almost tells me them signing Watt that they know that Reddick is gone because he's probably going to get paid somewhere or overpaid somewhere. I don't know where he fits right now. I do think he's out of Arizona. I think they move on from him. I hate to say it, but I kind of think somebody's going to overpay for him.
Yeah, I could see that.
Especially if you're looking at the 5-sack game, you're like, okay, this dude can get after it, and it's hard to argue that. But man, I don't think it's almost like he's a 1-year wonder in a way.
Yeah, he was just miscast initially. When they drafted him,
right?
They put him at off-ball, and it wasn't a real fit, and he just didn't have much production for him. And then they moved him to outside linebacker, and then he blew up this year. They declined his 5th-year option,
right?
And he had a big year, and he made himself some money. And with J.J. Watt coming in, it kind of seems like he's probably not coming back, but we'll see. I'm not exactly sure where he fits either, but he will get some interest, and somebody's going to pay him.
Yeah, these 5th-year options, I kind of question that. I mean, I know you do that a year ago. You're looking at 2020 when you're doing that. Do you extend these guys for a 5th-year option? Corey Davis, Hassan Reddick, so on.
Yeah.
And then they come out and have such a good year, and then you're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
We probably should have extended him, and now you're facing with overpaying or paying more than you would have. I just don't know where he lands, but I do think he's out of Arizona because I think somebody will take a chance and say, hey, you come be our pass rusher here.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't think he comes back to Arizona, especially with the Watt signing.
Right.
Next guy, this is your guy right here.
Yeah. Well, actually, 2 of these next 3 I'm really interested, or 2 of the next 4 I'm interested in. We'll stop at 25. But
okay.
Up next is Trey Hendrickson of the Saints. Cameron Jordan is the beast down there. Marcus Davenport was supposed to be the next guy up. It just didn't quite pan out. Hendrickson he put on a show last year as far as a pass rusher. He's going to get paid. I would love to see Tennessee make a run at him and put him next to Harold Landry. I think that would be a great fit. But he had such a good season last year. I kind of think that's going to overprice them out of the market.
Yeah.
But you can make the case, okay, he only had 1 good year. We've heard it before, 1-year wonder. You've only had this 1 good season. Can you do it again? Can you do it multiple years? I think he can because he has such a motor and he gets after it. He really does. Yeah, he does. It's almost like he's a great fit down there in New Orleans. If they can re-sign him, he makes Marcus Davenport obsolete. I think a lot of people missed on him. He just hasn't panned out. But Hendrickson's the guy. Yep. Let him hit free agency. I think there's going to be some teams come after him. I wouldn't be surprised to see your Packers come after him, Tennessee come after him. Wouldn't be surprised to see a team like the Browns come after him if they can't get one of these upper tier guys. So the market will be there, but how high will it be, and will it be enough to push the Saints out of making him an offer?
Yeah, no, Hendrickson's going to get paid. I wrote down Atlanta as a possibility.
Ooh, I like that.
They need pass rush help. Hendrickson could be a guy they come after interdivision, take him away from New Orleans. Never know. No, Hendrickson's had a fantastic year. He's earned himself a contract. Can't wait to see where he ends up.
I almost think outside of Shaq Barrett, JPP, I almost think Hendrickson's the number 3 guy in a way.
He's up there. Yeah.
Yeah. I know Leonard Williams is a guy, but are you putting him at defensive end? Are you I think it depends on the scheme for him. Is he 4-3 end? Is he a 3-4 outside linebacker?
Yep.
I think Hendrickson 4-3 guy, even in a 3-4, if you've got quality against him or opposite of him, I think he's the guy you want. I think you can get him at a cheaper price. So,
yep.
Up next, we have Rams edge Leonard Floyd. Man, I'm just not crazy about him. He's had some – he kind of reminds me of Clay Matthews coming from Green Bay. His time's kind of done. He's a solid guy, can give you some good help, but I don't think he's elite. And I think if you're signing him as a top 25 free agent, I think you're going to overpay for him.
Yeah, he's coming off, a 10.5 sack year, so he had a nice year. Yeah, you're going to have to pay for him. Obviously, he's going to command some money coming off a real nice year. We'll see where he ends up. Somebody's gonna pay for his services, and he's definitely one to watch. Leonard Floyd's okay. Not a huge fan. He's been up and down.
Yeah, nothing great. I don't think he's.
But he was good this year. He did make a big impact this year. I will say that. He
did.
Yep. So next, Bud Dupree.
Oh yeah, Bud Dupree, Steelers. I just don't think they sign him. I don't know what it is.
Alex Highsmith season.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex Highsmith. And I almost think this is the guy that the Titans target.
Okay.
I think it's more in their price range.
Think there's a little discount because he got injured, or what do you?
Well, I kind of think so, but I kind of think, I think you got to look at the market too. Yeah. You got to look at Shaq Barrett. You got to look at Leonard Williams. You got to look at J.J. Watt, who's gone now. You got to look at Carl Lawson, Trey Hendrickson. I almost want to say he's a tier 2 free agent, but he plays that outside edge pass rusher, which I think would translate well to a Tennessee. Even Green Bay, I would like him in Green Bay too. I don't know how you feel or they feel about getting him there against Zadarius Smith, but I almost feel like Zadarius and Harold Landry are almost the same type of player. So to get a player like Bud Dupree on the opposite side of them, that bookend, who's proven, because he proved his worth this year. So I would have liked to see what he could have done with a healthy Devin Bush, well, not healthy, but a full season of Avery Williams and a Robert Spillane. I think he would have really took off with that help behind him. Really love him in Tennessee. Really love him in Green Bay. I think that's 2 of the top suitors for him, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I said before, I do like Bud Dupree. Definitely wouldn't mind seeing him in green and gold, but don't think we're going to be in the mix for somebody that's going to command what he commands. But the Tennessee fit, I know you like Bud Dupree in Tennessee, and I like that fit too.
I've been seeing a lot of talk about him. Whether that comes to fruition or not, I don't know. We got to do something with pass rush. Even if we draft somebody, I still think we got to be aggressive in free agency and go after it.
Yep.
It's just there's such a bullseye or such a large target on us after we missed with Beasley and Clowney last year. You almost kind of got to hit a home run when you strike out like that.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah. You got to make sure you hit.
It's one thing to, like y'all did a few years ago with Zadarius and Preston. Y'all hit home runs with those.
Change the defense.
Yeah, Preston kind of fell off, but Zadarius is still there.
Mm-hmm.
But you hit initially. So I think with Tennessee, there's a lot of pressure to find that bookend pass rusher to Harold Lander right now that we just haven't been able. I know a lot of people are going to say Clowney was hurt, but he was not a big pass rusher to begin with. He's a run stopper. That's what he did. Vic Beasley was a one-year wonder. Let's don't go down that road again. I was really hoping they would be a huge player for J.J. Watt. I just kind of felt like the price range was going to be too much for them. And I think that's the case with a number of these players. But I think if you can get a Bud Dupree, that's a home run signing if you can get him.
I agree. No, I agree with you there.
And then we'll give one more here at 25, or at least 25 on my list. Bills linebacker Matt Milano. I've seen a lot of questions about him. What do you think they re-sign him? Looks like they're going to let him test free agency. Do you think they bring him back, or do you think he goes somewhere else, or what's your thoughts here?
I mean, they're gonna. Yeah, I read they're gonna let him test the market too, and hit the market and see what it says. So
could use him in Green Bay.
I'm a big Matt Milano fan. I don't know if we'll do it, but I would not be upset at all if he was in Green Bay. I do. I think Milano's a good linebacker. Him and Tremaine Edmonds are a really good duo, but yeah, they're going to let him. Sounds like they're going to let him test free agency. So all bets are off. He gets the offer he likes. Green Bay. That I'm good. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense from a need standpoint. I mean, Kirksey just didn't get it done this year. You're kind of looking at Kamel Martin, Ty Summers,
Chris Barnes. Chris Barnes stepped up for us big time.
Chris Barnes, I think that if he can take that step forward again next year, I kind of think maybe that takes you out of the running for him.
Right, I agree. I think they're going to probably right now they're thinking about relying on the young guys, but you never know. They might want to pair Chris Barnes with Matt Milano. I don't know, but right. I don't foresee it happening. I just don't. But
I don't either. But from a fantasy standpoint, I would love to see him go from Buffalo to Green Bay because tackle friendly system.
Yeah.
I think if he leaves Buffalo or doesn't go to a team like Green Bay or possibly Tennessee or something like that, I think if he goes to another team, then you might see a slight reduction because they're just not tackle-friendly scoring systems. I don't know. I don't have a warm and fuzzy on if Buffalo's going to let him move on or not. I know they have Tremaine Edmonds. I almost kind of feel like they need to keep him in a way.
Yeah, no, I think Tremaine Edmonds and Milano are a really good duo. Another one I had written down because I would like to see it because it's two players. Like I said, I'm a Milano fan. Is Kansas City. Him and Willie Gay would be a pretty cool duo, I think.
I just don't know what to think about Kansas City right now because you mentioned him, Willie Gay. Everybody thought he was going to come in, be the next star. They wanted to roll with Anthony Hitchens. They wanted to roll with Reggie Ragland. I forget the other linebacker, just garbage, really.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what hurt Kansas City in a way most of the season was their linebacker play.
Yeah. Unleash Willie Gay.
Just put the kid in there, let him do what he does.
No, that was just I wrote, just looking at some teams that could use for Milano, and that was him and Willie Gay are two linebackers I really like. I thought that would be a fun duo. But yeah, I'm with you. I'd be curious to see if Buffalo tries real hard to bring him back, considering how good him and Edmonds are together. So it'll be one to watch.
Absolutely. And like I said, free agency hasn't even begun yet. We're 2 weeks out, I think.
Yeah, they're starting.
I can't remember the exact date.
The legal tampering starts.
Legal
coming up.
Legal tampering.
Right.
It's so crazy. These teams. Every one of these teams are talking like crazy behind.
Yeah.
The league's back.
Yeah.
We all know it. They know it. The teams know it. Agents know it. Players know it. The NFL knows it. Just get over this sham.
Yeah.
That's basically the top 25. We were kind of discussing how far we'd go here. I think we'll cut it off right there at 25 and maybe pick this up next week.
Yeah.
Of any of those players we discussed, who's the one that you're most interested in seeing? Do they resign with the team or sign somewhere else? Which player?
Oof. I'm really excited to see where Trey Hendrickson goes.
Yeah. And I'm with you on that, but I kind of think it depends on where.
I guess I'm just really intrigued on where he goes. I am. I'm just really.
I am too, but I think it kind of depends on where a player like Shaq Barrett goes. It's like the dominoes. Once that first one falls, they all kind of fall in place.
Yep.
Here's your hot take. I'd almost take Trey Hendrickson over Shaq Barrett.
That's a hot take. Okay.
Money-wise, production-wise.
Yeah. Yep.
If, for example, if I'm Tennessee, I'll let Shaq Barrett sign wherever.
Yeah.
I'll focus on Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
I think he's a better fit, a better value, and will give me better production than what I'll get with a Shaq Barrett.
Hot take.
Yeah. I'll take. I like it. I think I would take. You want to get me on my wish list here? I think I would take Hendrickson over Bud Dupree. A name that's been talked about a lot. I really like Hendrickson. What's intriguing with New Orleans and Hendrickson, everybody knows it. New Orleans is so freaking far over the cap.
Exactly.
It's not funny, but we all know these cap numbers don't mean shit.
Yeah, they make
finagle these numbers or whatever. So with that in mind, I'm kind of like, he goes back to New Orleans because Marcus Davenport's been a flop.
Yeah.
They got Cameron Jordan there. They're trying to trade Malcolm Brown. Yeah. He has 2 years left. They're trying to trade him. If they can make the room, I think he stays there, but I think Hendrickson is the guy for me.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm super intrigued with Hendrickson. I think he's gone. I do. I don't know. I think he's going to get a nice contract, and I'm just super intrigued because I always kind of liked him there. He was always just in the rotation, and then 13.5 sacks this year. And I'm just curious to see where the NFL values him. What kind of a contract does he get? Does somebody like plant the flag and like I said, maybe like in Atlanta or something that really needs pass rush? Do they make him a staple? Just really intrigued by Hendrickson. I'm just curious to see where he goes.
Such a high motor guy, man.
Yeah,
he's just hell on wheels. You got Cameron Jordan, who's a beast, freaking DN1 or whatever, but Hendrickson, man, he just kept on coming. He didn't let up. So love those type of guys.
Yeah, me too.
For me, you mentioned Hendrickson. Oh man, I kind of think I don't know here. I think Shaq Barrett's the prize. I think Levante David's a prize. I think after that, Hendrickson. I think Hassan Reddick. I'm going to be interested to see where he lands.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I just think that he had such a good year with that 5-sack game combined with the rest of the season. I think somebody's going to overpay for him, and they have J.J. Watt in the mix now, so they're going to be kind of more like, you know what, we don't kind of need you as much as we did. We have Isaiah Simmons behind you. You go ahead and get your payday. Be interesting to see where he lands or who pays up for him, and I'm sure somebody will.
Yep. No, I agree. Yep. Somebody's gonna pay him. Be curious to see who it is.
Won't be me. Won't be me.
It won't be me either. I ain't got pass rusher money.
Shoot, no. Oh man. We have a listener question. I think we've killed free agency for the most part, and we'll see what happens this coming week. We may revisit some of the other guys down the list. I'm sure as we get closer to free agency, there's always rumors and stuff that happens, trades and all this good stuff. We talked about my fantasy league. We talked about Trophy Smack. We have to talk about our other sponsor, Action 24/7 Sports. It's a locally owned betting site for Tennesseans, by Tennesseans. Unfortunately, you have to be a Tennessee resident to use them, but they're just as good as any of the big boy sites, if not better. They're running special promotions every week, every day of the week. Right now, if you'll use our promo code Hollywood100, they also have a referral link. So right now, if you want to do that, you can refer a friend. Use our link. You know, you deposit $100, use our referral link. You're going to get $130 matched to your deposit, and we get a kickback off that. You can help us out. Unfortunately, we do have a few bills we got to pay to do podcasting. It's so simple to use, so clean to use. Been on it a billion times. Love it. And you don't even have to play for money. They have a free site where you can win money, win prizes. They're always giving something away. So be sure to check them out. Be sure to use that promo code Hollywood100. And that's at Action 24/7 Sports. Follow me on Twitter. I'm always retweeting and anything they do, whether they're going to some local bars in Nashville and you can go hang out with them, or they're doing giveaways, all that good stuff. They are so active. One of the best gambling sites you'll come across. So be sure to check them out. Man, so many good things, Kyle. We got so many good things coming on.
Yeah.
I know you're on pins and needles. You've been on me for like 5 hours now. But I'm going to show you here. I'm going to show you. If you will send me your mailing address, I got something for you. Really? Yes. I was at Ollie's. I don't know if y'all have Ollie's up there. Okay, it's like a discount store. But if you'll send me your mailing address.
Look at that. The Fall Horning Scrapbook. Oh, man, that's cool. That is cool.
You send me your mailing address, and I'll get this.
All right, man.
I actually looked at it, and I kind of hate to give this damn thing away, but
dude,
it's almost 200 pages of stuff from his beginning in college all the way through his retirement and some stuff.
That's awesome. He's just a legendary Packer, man.
Yeah, I know that. I kind of looked at it, and I was like, man, I kind of thought I knew a lot about him. And I like the fact that the whole book is in that booger green and snot yellow. But there's some cool stuff. Stats, pictures, quotes. For y'all down here in Tennessee and surrounding areas that know what Ollie's is, I was over in the book section and I seen that and I was like, oh my God, I got to get that for Kyle. He would freaking love that, man.
That is awesome. Seriously, that is cool as hell. See, you don't hate me, do you, man?
I do freaking hate you. Dude, I hate you.
I appreciate it, man. That's awesome.
But yeah, send me your email or
All right.
shit. Send me your address and
Yep.
I'll get that out to you. Man, I'm just all sorts of freaking tore up right now.
We still got a listener question.
Oh yeah, good job, Kyle. You redeemed yourself, Kyle. Yeah. So let's get to our listener question. It comes from Twitter at Joe Bowen 731, and he wants. We kind of touched on this a little bit. He wants to know: keep one, Matt Milano testing free agency, or Alex Singleton, who was just tendered by Philadelphia.
It's a really good question.
That is a great freaking question. For me, I think I'm going to go Alex Singleton. One, because Philadelphia thought enough of him to tender him. Usually when you tender a player, I don't want to say borderline because that's the wrong word. But you think well enough of a player. When you tender a player, you think well enough of them like, you know what? We like him good enough, but if somebody's willing to pay that tender, we'll let him go. But usually that tender is pretty high, which tells me that you think quite a bit about him. I think Milano's probably the better player and in a better situation with Buffalo. But if he moves on and goes somewhere else, I think Singleton's the better play.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. That's a really good. I like Milano. I like Milano a little bit more as a player. I do think Singleton showed that he's an NFL linebacker this year, though. I liked what I saw. I mean, Nate Gary just wasn't cutting it. TJ Edwards can't. I like TJ Edwards. He just gets banged up. Duke Riley's whatever. Yes, them tendering Singletons, that tells you they like him. And he had 120 tackles this year, and he started 11 games. So, I mean, like, he produced. Gosh, not knowing where Milano's going to be. If he stayed in Buffalo, I'd lean Milano. But
see, that's the kicker for me. If he stays in Buffalo, I like Milano so much better.
I'd like Singleton in Philly, though, if they're going to,
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think the fact that they put a tender on him tells me a lot.
Yeah.
I know there's different levels of tenders, but if you're willing to put a tender on a player, that tells me you like him.
Mm-hmm.
And then with that said, that kind of tells me, okay, you did well for us this year. We really like you, but we want to see if you can do it again.
Yep.
I mean, it's almost like a tag deal.
Right.
But it's like a poor man's tag in a way. Tyreek Hill, Dak Prescott, you're tagging those because those guys are superstars. You know what you're getting. Singleton, it's kind of like you're on the fence. You think he's good. You've seen him do good, but he's only done it 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat that success? I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's younger than Milano. Tremaine Edmonds is there. You know what? I kind of think I go Singleton here, especially if you're in a dynasty league, because Philadelphia really don't have anything else. They have TJ Edwards. Jesus, outside of that, they don't have shit really at linebacker.
I mean, I like Davion Taylor, the rookie from this past year.
But they didn't give him a lot of runs.
But he didn't get on the field. I mean, he was pretty raw coming out of Colorado. He didn't have a ton of experience. Right. He didn't play football till later in his playing, he wasn't necessarily a football player all the way through his playing career in high school and everything. So he was raw coming out of Colorado. Curious to see if they work him in. I mean, he's just super athletic and he can really cover some ground. But yeah, other than possibly him maybe getting a little boost and TJ Edwards playing the middle position, but Singleton would definitely be the every down guy, you would think, like he was towards the end. I like that spot for him. Milano, he could get a nice contract in a nice spot too, and it's a tough one. I definitely have him ranked real close. I know that.
Yeah. I think so too. I think you're right. If he stays in Buffalo, I kind of like Milano a little better, but if he moves on, then I think you go with Singleton.
Yep.
Especially in Dynasty, I think that's where you go.
I like it.
Whoo! Man, that's a whole lot of talking. Damn. Jeez. I think we've covered everything.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Hope you liked the show. Hope Kyle didn't screw it up too bad for you.
I tried not to.
I'm just playing.
Hey,
love you, Kyle.
I'm riding high right now. You got me a present even, man.
Hey, don't screw it up. I'll give it to somebody else, man.
All right. Jeez.
No, I'm just playing. Seriously, you send me your address. I'll send it to you.
I appreciate it.
I seen that in the store the other day. It's like, man, Kyle would freaking love that shit.
That's awesome. Paul Horning's a legend.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
And like I said, it covers his whole history, man. There's some crazy shit in there. I was looking at it. I was like, if I actually liked the fucking Packers, I'd probably keep that damn thing. But luckily for me, I don't like them, so screw it. No,
you're too good to me, buddy.
Well, I got to give the people what they want,
Yes, I know.
Dan doesn't see it like you do. He's like, you motherfucker. Yeah. And he'd be like, you can't say that on the podcast. I'm like, sure I can. You're the editor. That's up to you if you edited that or not, whatever. But Dan who? Dan's out, Kyle's in. It doesn't matter. I'm the face of the show. That's what matters.
That's all that matters.
Send me your address. I'll send it to you, man.
Awesome. Appreciate
Tell
it.
everybody where they can find you at, what you're doing. Oh, we got to plug one thing too, but you go ahead.
Okay, yeah. You can find all my work over at idpguys.org. Me and Daryl are both over there. I just wrote a second-year linebacker article.
Which was awesome, by the way.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Yeah, it just came out last Friday, I believe. Covered Willie Gay, Jordan Brooks, and Logan Wilson, three guys I like. That was a lot of fun to write. Some guys I was kind of looking into, and I decided to write a little bit. Anyway, if anybody's interested in that, that just came out. I got my rankings updated for March, and they'll be definitely updated once again, and I'm sure yours will be once again when free agency happens and we get to reevaluate a lot of shit. So,
man, these damn rankings, I'm telling you.
Yep. So yeah, that had that going on. Working on the rookie guide with you and Joey and Coach and Dan and Todd Foster and Sean and Calvin. Rookie guide definitely shaping up pretty awesome here. A lot of really smart dudes. I know we talk about it quite a bit, but I think it's a really awesome product. Yeah, that's enough about me. We'll kick it over to the
you sell yourself too short, my man.
Appreciate it.
I've said it many times on the show. One of the best things was talking to you and bringing you over when you were talking about moving over to IDP Guys. Such a great addition. Glad you did it, man. Love your work.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. The draft magazine that we're working on with Coach and all those guys, man, if you bought it last year, this year's is going to blow that motherfucker out of the water with what we're doing. So many good IDP minds, offensive minds as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, I use it a ton. I got my 2 from last year right there. I can't wait to use the ones from this year. Just a great thing. If you're into that Devy. Well, I don't want to say Devy, but if you're into that draft season where you have dynasty leagues, I don't know why I said Devy, but it all ties back to it. I mean, it's just so much help. I mean, there's a wealth of information out there, and you can be overwhelmed at times. So why not go with the leaders? And I think we're right up there among the best in the industry with this magazine. I won't be afraid to say that with IDP and offense only, with what we put out and all these guys, their hard work.
Yeah, they do good. Everybody's just putting in work, and they're really smart dudes that are putting up some really great profiles.
So worth it. I don't even do it justice when I talk about it, but because these guys are so much smarter than me. But
me too, definitely. Me too.
And then one last piece, because me and Kyle's just all over the place, and Kyle's like, "Oh my God, what am I doing?" We're about to head to the Patreon. You might want to tune into this because it could just be off the hinges. But before we go, sign up for our top tier Patreon. Not for us at IDP Nation, which if you do, we greatly appreciate it. We really do. But sign up for it and get that free injury guide from our guy Ethan Turner.
Awesome. That thing is awesome.
Oh, it is. It's so freaking awesome.
The amount of work he puts into that thing is unbelievable.
Oh, it's off the chains, dude. It's off the chains. I downloaded my thing last year when he gave it to us. And, last week, I think when we did the show, I mentioned as we were doing the show, I got an email. He updated last year. So he's not only working on this year's, he's updating last year's. He puts so much freaking work into that.
Yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
He digs all the way back to like middle school ball.
Yeah.
If he can find injuries and stuff, he's digging back. You won't be disappointed. He puts so much work into it. He's our official doctor of IDP Nation.
Absolutely.
Love having Ethan on. I'm telling you, the guide alone is worth signing up for our Patreon. So go check that out. Man, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't know what it is.
Don't look at me. I don't know.
Yeah, I know you don't know. Action 24/7, My Fantasy League, Trophy Smack, Ethan Turner Injury Guide, top tier Patreon of IDP Nation. Yeah.
Think you got it wrapped up, brother?
I think so. Follow me over at IDP Guys. Follow me on Twitter, Hollywood Titan. Follow me on freaking Reddit, King Titan 1 on the IDP page, the Davey IDP Grind page. Oh, follow us here at IDP Nation and the Davey IDP Grind. Damn it, Kyle, you almost let me forget. Jeez. Anyway, so much good stuff. I think that's it, Kyle.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Kyle.
Good night, Daryl. Good night, everyone.
Bye, Kyle.
See you, buddy.